Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video tutorial we're going to learn how to crochet step by step this beautiful boho crop top. This is made for an 8-year-old for my daughter, but you can make it for any size that you prefer. Now let's go ahead and see the material that I'm going to use, the yarn and the crochet hook, and how to use the chart that I have in the beginning of the video. The yarn that I'm going to use is Alize Cotton Gold, which is 55% cotton, 45% acrylic, 3.53 ounces and 361 yards. Now this yarn is suitable for all 4 seasons, especially spring and summer. And I'm crocheting with a 4mm crochet hook. Now before we start, I want to explain a few rules in order for your crochet top to come out right. So this top, in comparing it to the other one that we made that was in straight top and straight bottom, this one we're going to have a pointy top and a pointy bottom. This is how our top is going to be like. Okay, so what we want to do in this case, in every row up until we finish, we're going to be working in creases in the center, so we keep the pointy part up until the end. But on the sides, we're going to be working in creases in every second row, because if we work in creases in every single row, we're going to have, our top is going to get wider very quick, and this is not a result that we want. So in every row, we work in creases in the center, and in every second row, we're going to be working in creases on the sides as well. Now, as we did in the previous top, in the previous crop top, I'm crocheting for an 8-year-old, I'm crocheting for my daughter, and for this age, the total width of the neck is 10 centimeters. So on that measurement, I want to add 4 centimeters, so I want my beginning chain to be a total of 14 centimeters to begin with, okay? So in this case, I've already started with my chain, and I'm going to have a total of 24 chains to start. And because we're working with double crochet, in row number 1 we're going to have a total of 22 double crochet. So when you have an even number of chains, which means an even number of double crochet in row number 1, okay, this means that I'm going to have a total of 11 double crochet. If I separate in half, because I want to work my increase in the center, I'm going to have 11 double crochet, the increase, which is going to be in between, and it's going to be a chain 1, and then I'm going to work my other 11 double crochet. Now, if your total number of chains is odd, which means that in row number 1 you're going to have an odd number of double crochet in row number 1, this means that I would work a total of 11 double crochet, and in the center chain I would work my increase, which would be double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet in that very same stitch, and then I would finish my row with my other 11 double crochet. Now let's go ahead and see how to put this information on a crochet crop top. Now I have a chart in the beginning for the width of the neck for all sizes except for the adult ones. So for small, medium, large, and so on, measure your neck from the one side to the other, from the left to the right. And this is how long plus 4 centimeters you want the beginning chain to be. So I have started with 24 chains, as I mentioned earlier. Okay. Now we're going to start by working a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put your hook in that 4th chain and work 1 double crochet. So by doing this, the first 3 chains are my first double crochet, and double crochet in the 4th chain are my second stitch. So start counting from 2, next chain, 3, next one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have my first half of my stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to go right ahead from starting from the next chain to work my other 11 stitches. Now, if you have an odd number of chains, as I mentioned earlier, the difference is that once you reach your center stitch, if I had 25 chains, which would be 23 double crochet, the center stitch would be the 12th stitch, okay? So what you would do, you would work the increase in the very same stitch. You would do double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet in the same stitch, in the center stitch, and then you would go ahead and work your other 11 double crochet. Okay, so that's the difference between even number of stitches and odd number of stitches. Now, after my 11th double crochet, chain 1 and work 1 double crochet in each of the last 11 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and my last stitch, 11. Okay, so this is the end of row number 1. Now, in the second row, I'm going to work an increase in the one corner, center, and in the other end of my work. So in every even number row, so in row 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on, we're going to work increases in all 3 corners. And in every odd number row, row number 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and so on, we are only going to work an increase in the center of our work. So let's start row number 2 by chaining 3 and turn your work. So the 3 chains count as my first double crochet, so work 1 more stitch in the first double crochet. By doing this is the same thing as having 2 double crochet in the first stitch. Now 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches up until we reach our chain 1 space. So 2, next one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It's the double crochet before the chain 1 space. So in the previous row we had 11 stitches. In row number 2 I have 12 stitches before my increase, before the center. So under the chain 1 space I'm going to work my increase, and this is how every we're going to work the increase in the center in every single row. So always put your hook under the chain 1 space and work 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet under the same chain space. Now starting from the next double crochet, work 1 double crochet up until the end, and since I had 12 stitches in the beginning over here, I'm going to have 12 stitches to finish my work with. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and make sure you don't miss out your last stitch, which is the chain 3 that we used in the previous row to turn from our chain to row number 1. So counting from the bottom, in that third chain, work your last 2 double crochet the increase in the end of this row. So 11, and in the same stitch 12. So this is how our work looks at the end of row number 2. Now we're going to start row number 3, where we're only going to work an increase in the center. So start by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those 3 chains count as my first double crochet. So put your hook in the second stitch and work your second double crochet. 2, next one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the double crochet before my chain 1 space, and I've reached the chain 1 space where I'm gonna work my increase. So under the same chain space, work 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet. And I'm gonna work 13 more double crochet to finish my row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and my last stitch, which is the chain 3, always in the end of the row we're going to have the chain 3. So counting from the bottom to the top, put your hook in the third chain and work the last double crochet for this row. Okay, so this was row number 3, where we worked increases only in the center. Now we're going to start row number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn your work. In row number 4, we're going to work increases in all 3 corners. So chain 3 and work 1 more double crochet in the first stitch. Okay, so this is the same thing as having 2 double crochet in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in every stitch after that. In the chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet in all the stitches after that, and in the last stitch in the chain 3, we're going to work 2 double crochet to finish our row with. Now in row number 5, chain 3, turn your work, and because in row number 5 we're going to work increases only in the center, work 1 double crochet in every stitch, increase, 1 double crochet in every stitch. Okay, so again, in every even number of stitches, we're going to be working increases in all 3 corners, in every even number row, and in every odd number row, we're going to be working increases only in the center. So what I want to do now, see how we have an angle on our work so far. This angle is going to keep creating up until we finish, and I'm going to stop crocheting when I measure from the one side to the other, and it's about half of the chest circumference. So for this age, for an 8-year-old, the chest circumference, it's about 68 centimeters. Okay, so, and it's the circumference, but I want half of it because I want the top, the crop top, to go from the one side of the chest to the other. So I'm going to divide that number by 2, and the result is 34 centimeters. But if I crochet exactly 34 centimeters, it's going to go exactly from the one side of the chest to the other. I want to crochet a little more, so the crop top goes even a little to the back. Okay, so once I finish, I'm going to turn my video back on. I'm going to mention how many extra rows after the 34 centimeters I've worked to see how many centimeters I have at that point, how to crochet the straps, and how to add the fringes in the end. I've completed crocheting my top so far, and this is what I have as a result. So I mentioned earlier before I turned my video off that I wanted to be 34 centimeters in order to be on the one side of the chest to the other, but because I wanted a few more centimeters, I have worked a total of 21 rows, and the total width is at 39 and a half. So I worked about 5 more to 5.5 centimeters. This way the crop top hugs a little to the back, okay, of the person we're crocheting for. So what I'm gonna do now, I have already cut my yarn. So after my last double crochet, I worked a chain, cut the yarn, pull the loop, and tighten up. So what we're going to do now, we're going to crochet 2 straps, one on this side and one on this side, and we want each strap to be about 60 centimeters. This way we're going to cross the one strap, grab it right here, the other strap we're going to grab it over here, and we're going to tie on the back. So let's go ahead and see how to do that. Okay, so now let's attach our yarn, and I want to see the right side of the stitches of the first row. So I want the yarn that I started with to be on the top right. Now put your hook in the very first stitch right over here. Okay, attach the yarn, so grab the yarn and pull it through that stitch, chain 1, and work 1 single crochet in that very same stitch in order to secure. Okay, now I'm going to work chains up until I reach 60 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I reach my 60 centimeters, I'm going to turn my video back on. I'm going to mention how many chains I've worked and how to work the row for the strap. I've completed working my chains. I've reached my 60 centimeters and I have a total of 100 chains. Now I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each chain for a total of 99 single crochet in the end of the row. So skip the first chain, put your hook in the second, and work your first single crochet. 1, next stitch, 2, next chain, 3, next one, 4, next one, 5, and keep crocheting 1 single crochet in every stitch up until the end for a total of 99 single crochet. I've completed crocheting my 99 single crochet. Okay, now work 1 more single crochet on top of the first single crochet when we attach the yarn to secure. Put your hook in that same stitch and work 1 single crochet. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work 1 single crochet on top of every stitch up here on the neckline. Now we have already worked on top of the first double crochet because it's here where we attach the yarn to work our strap. Starting from the second stitch, what we are really doing is we're working on the loops that are left on the chain stitches that we worked in the beginning. So align your hook with a double crochet and just put it in there in that chain stitch. Okay, now in the next double crochet, align it and put your hook on those loops of that chain on the top. Next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, single crochet, next stitch, 1 single crochet, next stitch, 1 single crochet. So keep working 1 single crochet in every single chain stitch up until the end. Even over here where we worked our increases, you still work 1 single crochet in every single chain stitch up until you reach your last stitch right over here. I've completed working 1 single crochet on top of every single chain stitch. I've also worked, make sure you don't miss that stitch, the 3 chains that we used to turn to row number 1, counting from the top, 1, 2, 3. In that 3rd chain, make sure you work the last single crochet. Now we're going to chain 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, work 100 chains and 99 single crochet on top of every single chain stitch. The same thing we did over here. So once I finish my 100 chains and 99 single crochet, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to continue from there on. I've worked my 99 single crochet. Now put your hook in the same stitch that you worked the last single crochet right here where we worked 1 single crochet in every stitch, and work 1 single crochet. And now we're going to work a shell stitch right here on the side of our crop top. So starting from the first double crochet, so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to put my hook under the first double crochet of the first row. Okay, so we're going to be working under every second row under the first double crochet of every second row. We're working horizontally on the stitches. So put your hook under the first double crochet of the first row and work 5 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now skip the first double crochet of the next row and go into the first double crochet of the row after that and work 1 single crochet. Skip the first double crochet of the next row, go ahead into the row after that under the first double crochet and work your shell stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet under the same stitch. Skip the next double crochet, put your hook under the first double crochet of the row after that and work a single crochet. Skip the first double crochet of the next row, go ahead into the row after that and work your shell stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the first double crochet of the next row, go ahead into the first double crochet of the next one and work a single crochet. Skip the next double crochet, go into the row after that and work your shell stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the first double crochet of the next row, go ahead into the first stitch of the row after that and work a single crochet. Skip the next row, go into the row after that and work your shell stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the next row, go into the row after that and work your single crochet. Skip the next row and go into the row after that, which is my last row, and because it's a corner, instead of crocheting 5 double crochet for the shell, I'm going to work 10. Okay, so under the same double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I've worked my corner with 10 double crochet. Now I'm going to turn my work and I'm going to work 1 single crochet on the stitches on the double crochet that I was working on every row for my crop top. But because right here on the corner I have a shell stitch, okay, I'm going to skip 2 stitches and I'm going to put my hook in the third and work my first single crochet. So keep working 1 single crochet in every stitch, and once I reach the increase I'm going to turn my video back on. I've reached my corner right here, my increase, so I'm going to work a total of 3 single crochet under the chain 1 space. 1, 2, and 3. Now starting from the next stitch, work 1 single crochet in every stitch. Again. Okay, so 1 single crochet in every stitch up until you finish the row, but make sure that you leave your 2 stitches, okay, before you work the shell right here in the corner. When I reach right over here, I'm going to turn my video back on to work the shell together and how to work the rest of the row off camera using the shell stitch going upwards. I've completed working 1 single crochet in every stitch after my corner right over here, and I have left out 2 stitches in which I have not made a single crochet into. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my work sideways and I'm going to start working the shell stitch going upwards. So right here, sideways on the first double crochet of the row, I'm going to work my corner shell, which is made out of 10 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the same thing as I did on the other side, I'm going to skip the first double crochet of the next row, put your hook in the first double crochet in the row after that, and work a single crochet. Skip the first stitch of the next row, put your hook under the first stitch of the row after that, and work a shell stitch. 5 double crochet under the same stitch. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the first stitch of the next row, put your hook under the stitch of the row after that, and work your single crochet. Okay, skip the next row, put your hook on the first double crochet on the row after that, and work your shell stitch. Single crochet, shell stitch up until you reach here the first row of our work, in which we're going to work our last shell stitch. Once I work my last shell stitch, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to work the fringes. I've worked my last shell, and now I'm going to put my hook right here inside the first stitch where I worked the single crochet up here on the neckline. So put your hook under that same stitch and work a slip stitch, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull the loop, and tighten up. So this is how our crop top looks completed. When we have worked the shell stitch all around. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to see how to attach the fringes right here in the end. Okay, now so I'm going to work my fringes on my hairpin, and I want each fringe, when it's folded in half, to be about 10 centimeters. So the total length of each string of yarn is going to be about 20 centimeters. So I'm just going to wrap around a few times just to make a sample and see how it looks like. I'm wrapping my yarn around my hairpin. Okay, I'm going to cut it in half. So I want each fringe to have a total of 2 pieces of yarn. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my crop top and starting right over here where my shell ends up over here, I'm going to put my crochet hook right into that stitch. I'm going to fold in half my 2 pieces of yarn. Okay. And I'm going to put my hook under that loop, grab the 2 pieces of yarn, pull them through the stitch, and see how now I have a loop. Grab all 4 pieces of yarn, pull them carefully through the loop, and tighten up. So this is our first fringe, and this is how we're going to attach all the fringes on our crop top. All the fringes have to have the same length, because as we go downwards, because we are here going, it's shorter, and as we go through it's longer, our fringes are going to form an angle as well. Okay, so once I finish, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how our crop top looks completed. I've completed my crop top. I've completed attaching all of my fringes, and this is how it looks like. I'm seeing the good side of the crop top because I'm seeing the good side of the stitches of the shell stitch that I was working all around. So turn your crop top on the wrong side. And now this is how we're going to do the straps. So take the right strap, okay, and pull it through the hole that has been made on the corner shell where we worked the 10 double crochet. So pull it through that hole. Okay, now take the left strap and pull it through the shell on the right side, the corner shell right here through that hole. Okay, and this is how it'll look on the back. We're gonna tie it, right? So this is how our crop top looks completed. So thanks for watching, please subscribe, and if you like the video, please press like and leave a comment. Thanks again, bye bye!